Let's talk about this kitchen tip. And this is one that I struggled with trying to understand for a very long time. And I had to just break it down for myself. The difference between baking powder and baking soda. First of all, let me give you a full disclaimer. I order my groceries from the store, so they're delivered, and I asked for aluminum free baking powder, but they sent me regular baking powder. I want to encourage you, when you buy baking powder, get aluminum free baking powder. And I also ordered the smaller container, about that big, and they sent me this one. I like to order baking powder in small, and any of my spices in very small quantity, so that I can use them up fast and they don't go bad on me. So when you're buying baking powder, get the one that is aluminum free. And what the aluminum free one does, sometimes you can get a weird bitter taste just using regular baking powder. Sometimes, it doesn't happen all the time, so it's best to get the aluminum free so you don't ever have to deal with that. Okay, so that's the disclaimer on it. So now let's talk about the difference between the two. Let's start with baking soda. Baking soda is alkaline, and it's basically just bicarbonate of soda. It's nothing else in there but bicarbonate of soda. And what baking soda needs when you're baking, what it needs in order to activate it, to make it work, because what it does, it lifts your cakes and cookies. It needs an acid to make it work. So you will see recipes that have buttermilk in them, lemon, sour cream, honey, molasses. But guess what? Sugar is also an acid. So when you're baking goods, to make this work, you need an acid to help do the lifting process, because what it does is it produces carbon dioxide, which is the air that we breathe out. It produces that, and that's what lifts the cookies and cakes and things, okay? But it needs an acid to make it work. And again, the acid is honey, sugar, buttermilk, lemon, whatever, like that. And that's what baking soda is. Baking powder has baking soda in it. Plus, it has an acid in it that's generally cream of tartar, and it also has cornstarch in it. So let me say that again. Baking powder has baking soda in it. So this is in this already. And it also has cream of tartar, which is an acid, and it has cornstarch in it. It does the same thing. It does the lifting of the cakes and the cookies, okay? But the other thing that it does is that most baking powders are what that's called double acting. It immediately starts working as soon as liquid hits your ingredients, and working again when heat hits it. So let's take my favorite bread, cornbread. When you're making cornbread and you got all your dry ingredients, and your dry ingredients include baking powder and baking soda, actually, once I pour that buttermilk in there, the baking powder is activated because liquid has hit those dry ingredients and it's working. And that's why it looks the way it looks when you start stirring it up. That is the baking powder working. But it also starts working again when you put it in the oven and heat hits it, and your cornbread and baked goods start to rise and brown. Okay, that is the best way that I can explain baking soda and baking powder. Baking powder is what's in self-rising flour. Just understand that baking powder has baking soda in it already, plus an acid. Baking soda is alkaline. Baking powder has baking soda, which is alkaline in it, plus it has an acid in it. So it is alkaline plus an acid. This one works when liquid hits it and when heat hits it. This one works when acid heats it, and acid is lemon, buttermilk, sugar, things like that. Okay? This one helps with browning of your baked goods. This was so confusing for me for a long time when people kept saying that baking powder has baking soda in it already. I'm like, then why do I need to add baking soda? Okay, so I got a recipe that calls for baking powder. If the baking powder has baking soda in it, then why do I need to add baking soda? Because you wanted to neutralize it. You wanted to, let me give you an example. If you're making buttermilk biscuits and the buttermilk biscuits call for both of these, the little bit of baking soda that you're going to add to your buttermilk biscuit recipe is going to help neutralize that flavor so that you still got that twang. Buttermilk pancakes, you still got that twang. Cornbread, you still got that twang. You get it? It's kind of like evening out the flavors. And that's why you would use both of them. Not in all recipes, y'all. In some recipes. I have actually done a lot of research on baking powder and baking soda, and the way that I'm explaining it to you is as simple as I could get it. I couldn't find anywhere that gets it any simpler than that. Baking soda is alkaline and is used to lift your cakes and cookies, and it helps with browning. Baking powder is acidic and it has baking soda in it, plus it has cornstarch in it, and it has cream of tartar in it, which is an acid. Okay, so basically it's acid and alkaline. This is just alkaline. Okay, they both work to lift your cakes and cookies. Baking soda helps with the browning of it. Okay, all right, so that's kind of my best tip, my best explanation of those. I hope that this helps you. I hope that it gives you a better understanding to know that they are different, but this one contains this one and it helps neutralizes the acid so that the flavor is right when you're baking your good. I hope that that helps you. I'm Val Taylor. This is the best I could do on this tip because I think you really do need to understand it. But I will admit, this is one that I've struggled with for a very, very long time, and I've broken it down as simple as I can break it down, and just know that this one that baking powder contains baking soda, and it is activated when heat hits it and when liquid hits it. This one is activated when an acid hits it, and the acid could be buttermilk, lemon, lime, sugar, whatever. Liquid and heat. Acid is activating this one. Okay? All right, I'm going to stop because I'm messing up. All right, y'all go ahead and make it a great day. I'll tell you what, I'll see y'all on the next video. I hope this helped. Bye now.